Hey, I'm Gina. Welcome to the Oh, There's More podcast, a space to get real and go deep. No more just checking the boxes and going through the motions. It's time to live out the beautiful life that God has written for you. In today's episode, we are going to talk about what it means to live a life in the posture of in spite of, instead of, because of. I don't know if you are with me on this, but I think that it's so fun when God shows me places where my understanding has been off just in the slightest, or maybe things just aren't super clear. And recently I had this revelation of the difference between what it means to make choices or live life because of that thing that happened or trauma that you've faced, versus living life or making choices in spite of it. And wow, I know it seems like such a small difference when you hear it, but I stopped to really think about this, and the ripple effect of it was huge. Digging into it more opens your eyes to see how something so seemingly small and nuanced can change a lot in your day-to-day life, which then impacts things on a way bigger scale. If we are living a life from the posture of because of, it means that our decisions, our thoughts, our actions, they're all based around a past experience. So let's say that your needs weren't met as a child and you picked up the belief that people can't be depended on. You'll tend to live that out in a particular way as an adult, especially if you don't have an awareness that you're living life through the lens of that belief. And what does that look like, right? Maybe you intentionally do things on your own so that you're not reliant on others. You maybe tend to control the world and the people around you. Maybe you don't get your hopes up that people will come through, or you don't invest in relationships. You hold back on being all in or even letting others into your life. Because this hasn't gone well in the past, I'm going to now base what I do off of that experience to try to avoid the same outcome. On the other hand, if you were to live a life from the position of in spite of, the angle that you would be coming from would look different. You would be able to ask for help knowing that people can and will let you down at some point, but it's okay because their actions aren't a reflection of you or a gauge of your worth. You'd let go of controlling things around you and be at peace knowing that the only thing that you can control is yourself. You'd be willing to invest in relationships and let others in because you'd be able to let that wall down that protects you. You know that in spite of what you may have experienced in the past, it's not a hard and fast rule for all the other people and experiences in life. The past doesn't get to dictate the future because you've healed, and you get to live a life where you thrive in spite of the things that you've been through. Another place that this kind of shakes out is living from a place of lack, right? You grew up and you didn't have what you needed. And so now you hold on to resources, whether that be food, money, even your gifts and your talents. It's that old reminder that there won't be enough. And so you base your decisions off of that. There won't be enough money or food to last through the month, so I'm not going to have those people over for a meal or go to that party where they're asking for everyone to bring a dish to share. And oftentimes it's not even that there's actually a lack, it's just a perceived lack because of the experiences from the past. So it's because of there has been a lack in the past, I'm not going to risk putting myself in a position where there is lack again. And I'm not talking about using wisdom here and having a budget and doing all those really important things so that you don't put yourself in a position of lack. I'm talking about living from a mindset of, oh my gosh, there's never going to be enough. I have to protect so that I don't get into that place again. And these things ripple into so many other aspects of your life. Along this windy road of healing, there are places where you'll have things revealed that you didn't know were there. There are beliefs that you're actually operating from that God wants to bring to the surface so that He can help you rewrite them with His truth. I've been in this space for the last year or so, and goodness, it has been wild. There have been so many hidden things within my belief system that were just buried deep down, having their say and way in my life without me even realizing it. These narratives are slick, and they're meant to keep us in a place of lack and loneliness, a place of wanting, a place of defeat even. Like, you're all alone and you're the one that has to make it happen, or there'll never be enough, or things won't ever turn out well. For a long time, I lived from a place of believing that I didn't need people. And it was because I lived in a place of protection. And as long as I didn't involve other people, then I could manage what was going to happen. I could help mitigate and steer the outcome of things. I also lived in a place where I needed people in an unhealthy way, where I relied on others for my happiness and others to fulfill that longing and loneliness in me. And in this last year or so, God has gotten me to a place where I have realized, oh my goodness, I need people. And I don't need people because I can't do this on my own and I need somebody to fill that void and complete me. And I also realize, fully understanding, not just with my mind, but with my heart, that we need community. We need others to do life with. We need people to be able to go to when we are struggling so that they can help us. We need people to go to when we are at the mountaintop and we are celebrating so that they can celebrate with us. And now I get to live from that position of, in spite of all of the things that have happened in my life, in relationships, all of the ways that I have been betrayed and hurt and not cared for well by other people, in spite of that, I know that I need others. I know that I need to be in community. And I wish you could see me. I'm smiling about it right now. It's such a beautiful gift. When we're in that place of, oh, I'm going to operate in this way because of people have hurt me, and because of that, I'm not really going to build relationships, and I'm going to stay hidden. We don't get to thrive the way God intended us to. And also in these places where we are operating in the because of space, shame is given a chance to secretly fester and grow. We are believing lies, and those lies are what become the because ofs that we operate from. So how do we get to the other side of that, where we can stand and say, in spite of my past, I will stand tall and I will not let shame take root. In spite of what has happened and been passed on from generation to generation, I will get to the root of it and I will heal and I will live differently. And that's the key right there. Getting to the root of it and being able to heal from it, whether it be a lie that you have believed, whether it be deep-seated trauma that you experienced. It's in that place of healing where we get to rewrite our stories. We get to rewrite the beliefs that we operate from with God, and we heal. What's really fun about this is that when things are revealed and we realize that we have been operating from this false belief, this lie, God will give us some opportunities to come up against that lie. There'll be opportunities where we get to choose a different reaction, a different thought, a different action. And it's in those moments where you stop and say, oh my goodness, look at what has been healed. Look at what I did this time. And that my response wasn't a because of response. This time it was different. It was healthy and it was healed and it was based off of truth instead of experience from my past that was so long ago. Those moments of realizing things have been healed and how far you've come are just such a sweet, sweet gift. I want to encourage you not to take those lightly. I want to encourage you to celebrate those things, to recognize them, to even write them down. There are instances in the Bible where it talks about making an altar of remembrance, and this is something that I had started to do because we can so easily get in that place of feeling like there is no progress being made because it's a journey and because there are ups and downs and because there is a span of time where this all takes place. I started to write down the things that God was healing in me, the things that God had freed me of, the ways that I was beginning to look at life and respond. And it's such an incredible thing to go back then and look at and read. Like, oh my goodness, look how transformed my heart is. Look at what God has done in my life. Look at what He has done for me. Look at how much He has loved me to continue to walk me through all of this, to continue to faithfully be there with me, and to help me live from a position of victory and a position of truth and a position of freedom. What an incredible gift. That is what the in spite of life is. It is a life of being freed from the chains of your past. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, leave a rating or review, and share it with your people. You can go to my website, ginapeak.com, to find extra resources and info. Until next time.